Hey guys! So, alright, I really have no idea how I'm gonna start this vlog. Because as you can see from my title, I had a miscarriage. Yeah. So, I really don't know where to begin. I'm so sorry if my video is nowhere near as constructed or composed in such a way or in order. The purpose of why I want to do this vlog is perhaps other women can learn from our story and other women will feel encouraged at the end of all the things that I'm going to say in this video. So where do I begin? So it's been like over a year since me and my husband has been planning for a baby. At the age of 28, ever since my 28th birthday last year, we were already like sure that we wanted to start a family. So after trying for over 1 year, just recently, March this year, which is again on my birthday, March 9th, by then I was already experiencing such symptoms like feeling so tired. I was sleepy all the time. I had crazy food cravings. I don't know why that is. I thought it was just me, like the week before my period where your cravings increase and stuff. So yeah, I remember telling my parents on my birthday, my mom especially, I was like, actually I'm a few days delayed, but I didn't want to go ahead of myself. So she was like, just wait for a few more days and stuff and see how it goes. And so after that, about a week or 2 weeks passed, and I still didn't want to get ahead of myself. So what I did was I waited a little bit more, because there were moments before that I thought I was pregnant, but I was only delayed for a week or two. So on the third week, after being delayed for the third week, I started to take a pregnancy test. So the first pregnancy test that I took wasn't so expensive, or let's say it wasn't as, it was just one of those cheap pregnancy tests. And it showed negative. But still, after that, after 2 days, 3 days, I was still delayed. So I started to take another one. The one that I took was the clear blue pregnancy test. I highly recommend it, by the way. Yeah, so I took that, and when I took it, there was this positive sign on it, and I was so happy. I had to blink so many times because I couldn't believe that it could have been the moment that me and my husband has been waiting for. So there I was so excited to tell my husband. I went and tell him, and then I told him, babe, I think I'm pregnant, and it's a positive sign here. And we were so excited. We were so happy. So my doubtful self, the very next day, all right, so the very next day, we already planned to go to the doctor, but I think it was out of excitement that I wanted to be sure. So I took a test the very next morning, and it still showed positive. And it was a little faint though. And I still was super excited. Then after that, I remember that day I went out and I bought another pregnancy test just because I was curious and excited. And although we already had a scheduled date to go to the gynecologist, yeah, I just wanted to be sure. It's one of those moments where you just can't stand it. I'm a curious person, and I just wanted to like check again because I couldn't believe it. And so that night when when I took that test, I was like, babe, we gotta tell my family. We gotta tell your family, to my family. But this time the positive sign was even more faint than the second clear blue test that I took. So that night we went to my family. Actually, I couldn't wait another day, and I had to tell them that I was pregnant. And of course, everyone was happy because I'm the eldest of the family of 3 siblings, and my mom was super excited to be a grandma, and my dad was outstation, so we had a video call, and it was such a joyous moment. I was having like all this excitement in me and all that. So the very next day, me and my husband, we decided to go to the gynecologist as planned. I was super excited that day. I was nervous too, because knowing that I'm pregnant and, looking forward to, raising the baby in me and, let the baby grow in me and to eventually give life. It was, nothing can compare to the feeling of knowing that you're pregnant and you're gonna become a mom. It's the most joyous feeling ever. So we went to the doctor, and eventually it was time for me to get scanned. And so when the doctor scanned my abdomen, my lower stomach, he was looking for a bit. It took him some time to think, because he did ask me to take a test. Yes, many times. Eventually, it was super sad because he couldn't find any sac in my uterus. So at that point, I was like, I really didn't know how to face that. I didn't know how to get over that right there, like understand. A part of me didn't want to believe what he said. So he did say that there was no sac found in my uterus, and he actually found something else within my uterus. There was, unfortunately, a growing fibroid, and at that time it was the size of 7 cm, almost 8 cm, and he didn't inform me. But then he told me that, we need to make sure that you're not pregnant before we do anything. So leave that aside for a while and let's get your blood tested. Because if we can't find the sac in the uterus, then maybe it's somewhere else, like in the fallopian tube or such, and it could be ectopic pregnancy, which he believes it wasn't. So at that point, so now this gynecologist is actually the same gynecologist that my mom had, that who's based here in Kuala Lumpur. His name is Dr. Ravi. He's already helped deliver my 2 siblings, my 2 younger siblings, via cesarean. So it was a trusted family doctor. And there, right then, he gave me the assurance where he told me, I don't think it's ectopic pregnancy, but we need to take the blood test just to be sure. By the way, this doctor was the same doctor that handled my mom's fibroid case as well, and it was a successful operation. So anyway, there I was, still hoping that I was pregnant. I don't know why I thought of it at that point, that ectopic pregnancy. But he did say if it was ectopic pregnancy, we will need to remove it because it's going to grow elsewhere and it's not going to, not going to be good for both me and the baby. But he doubted it was. So that was the news that me and my husband had to deal with that day. And it was so heartbreaking because he did say if there's no sac found anywhere or anything, then it's definitely an early miscarriage. At that point, the doctor said I could have been 6 to 7 weeks pregnant. But yeah, I did not feel any amount of heavy sadness until I got home that day, I think. So that day, my mom accompanied me and Joel to the doctor, actually, and I'm just thankful that they were there. My husband and my mom were there to support me throughout and to, just catch me, because a lot of people would say, my close friends would say I'm a very strong person. No matter how heavy my problem is, I try not to show it. But that day just silenced me. Like no amount of, I just couldn't suppress the pain that I was feeling, and it got real when I got home, because of course, having that chance to feel that you're finally pregnant, and you're looking forward to raising your child, and then in the blink of an eye, that joy was kind of like taken away. So I was not okay, because at that point I still didn't have my period. So I was not okay. Although I was waiting for the blood test result, I could feel that I wasn't pregnant. And I was so upset with myself. I don't know why, but I started blaming myself. I started telling myself, if I could have been more careful, because I'm an active person, if I could have been more careful perhaps, or I did something, ate something, I don't know, to sustain so that the sac won't drop and I won't have a miscarriage, I would have done so. But yeah, so I remember having my period like late that night. It came that day, unfortunately, and for the next 3 to 4 days I was just in bed. Like, nothing can explain to the amount of grief and sadness and amount of just feeling lost that you get when you're someone who just went through a miscarriage. But yeah, unfortunately, I know miscarriage topics are something that you're not always talking about. Something so private, something so personal, something some people are even ashamed of. And I know that, but with me, I really just wanted to share my experience with you guys, because people need to know what a woman actually goes through during a miscarriage. Unfortunately, it's quite common. It's quite common among women, and some of them may not even know. They sometimes see it as a late miscarriage, late period, or just irregular periods. So apart from dealing with the grief me and my husband had to go through, of not being pregnant anymore, then I experienced heavy bleeding that week. So I had period for like 9 days, 8 to 9 days, heavy bleeding, and I couldn't get up from the bed, and it was just heavy bleeding and pain, and the cramps were like 5 to 6 times more, I would say, than a normal period. So that's what I experienced. I was feeling weak. At the same time, I was heartbroken. So mentally, I wasn't okay. Emotionally, I wasn't okay. But I just really thank God, and I thank God for giving me the strength and for giving me my husband to support me through it. And although I tried so hard to be so positive about the situation, that we could try again. My husband was like, we could try again, and then telling my family to say, you could try again. So it's not as easy to like get over that and just get it. Up to today, I still feel the loss, and I haven't really fully recovered. But I know hopefully I will get there. I'm just blessed enough to have people who are so supportive to check on me. My friend Felicia, she was messaging me every single day that it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to feel a bit of grief, I gotta go through the process, encouraging me that a lot of other women go through it. It's not only you. You can get out of this. Just the amount of support and prayer that I had from friends and loved ones, my family, my dear husband, it really meant so much. So yeah, I just wanted to share that how important it is to go through the grief, to go through the acceptance of the loss, and that it's okay. It's okay not to be okay if you're not ready to be okay. You know. I also wanted to help share. I don't know if I'm making even any sense right now, because there's no way I didn't know how to start this conversation or this talk to share with you guys. But I hope you're feeling me, and I hope you're understanding where I'm coming from. Basically, it's not an easy thing to go through, miscarriage, and I know my baby, who I was not able to have this round, um, is in heaven right now, and I know God will bless us with when it is the right time with a little one for us. So I'm just praying and hoping for that day to come one day, and I'm just waiting on that. But apart from that, back to the reason why I had a miscarriage, according to my doctor, which was something more that I needed to pay attention to. So that day he did find a fibroid in my uterus, just about the size of a tennis ball. It's like this. I don't know, like this. And basically, on my next visit to the doctor, he mentioned that the fibroid that needs to be removed as soon as possible because it was a rapid growing one. And he said that this is giving me complications, such as it is very hard for me to get pregnant. If I do get pregnant, it's going to cause a miscarriage, which is what happened to me. It's going to cause a lot of cramp pain, irregular periods, severe heavy flow periods. It's going to cause a lot of, if I did get pregnant, it might be an early birth, or even worse, sometimes affect the child in some ways, like being stillborn. So he did say that if we are planning to have a family, to get it removed, we need to get it removed via open myomectomy, which is what I just had last month, which was on May 18th. Wow, it was one of the hardest things that I had to go through. So I'm still actually recovering right now from that. If you do want to see the vlog of that, I do have a vlog about my fibroid surgery. I believe it will help encourage other women and help spread the awareness. So basically, yeah, I had to accept that, and I just wanted to share what I went through recently and how I'm trying to cope with it. If you see my reaction videos, people know me as probably as the bubbly Chris, but we never know unless we look into the heart of someone or really know them. So deep inside, I'm actually going through a grief, and I was away from social media for I think 2 months because of what's been happening in my personal life, my medical issues, my recovery time, and I'm just slowly getting back into it. So yes, I had my fibroid surgery last month, May 18th, and the first 4 or 5 days was the hardest time of my life. But I'm so glad that I went for the surgery. I'm so glad that I can move forward from this, being the fibroid was already 9 cm when it was removed. So I am really relieved, and I feel healthier. And despite dealing with the grief because of the miscarriage, I am looking forward to still planning a family and making a family with my husband Joel. So yeah, to those who might be going through the same thing that I did or went through the same thing I did, just know that you are not alone, and there are women like me. There are other women out there who is going through the loss and the grief as well, and my message is just for you to be strong. And I hope that maybe there are other women who have gone through a harder miscarriage, like maybe the baby has already been 4 months in their stomach, or I know mine may not be the biggest case or the worst case, but a loss, I believe that a loss is still a loss. And big or small, you can't measure the amount of grief and sadness that a woman can feel at this time. So if you do have a friend, or if you do have people who you know are going through something like this, please encourage them, because it really helps them. It really helps comfort and strengthen them. And sometimes it doesn't look like it's effective, but it does work. And be there for these kind of people, because it's really one of the hardest things to go through. So yes, so now that after going through a miscarriage and still dealing with the griefs day by day, and getting through my open myomectomy surgery, a part of me is already looking forward to greater things ahead. I don't know if I just mentioned that, because my vlog right now is nowhere near composed, but yes, yeah, I just wanted to share this message, and I hope that you're encouraged by it. If you're about to take your hysterectomy or myomectomy, don't be scared, you can do it. And I'll be praying for you. So if you are a woman who recently went through miscarriage, or if you are going through an open myomectomy very soon, a fibroid removal surgery, do comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to share more with you, and I'd love to hear from you and your experience. And in advance, I just want to thank you guys for your love and support, and for your encouragement, and for watching this video. And I'm sorry once again if you're someone who is going through a loss. I feel you, I'm with you, and I'll be praying for you. So anyway guys, I hope that, I know this vlog is out of nowhere, but I just thought I just share what I've been going through, and I hope that it encourages you if you're a woman like me. So anyway, I hope to see you guys soon, and yeah, thank you so much for listening and for watching.